Hey everyone, it's Susie at the Frazzle Flamingo, and today I'm just gonna show you again how to glitter a cup. This cup has been prepped, fully prepped, and if you do not know how to prep a cup, just go down to my links below and find how to prep a cup and take a look at that, and then you can come back and you'll be right where we are. This has been fully prepped. It does have CrystaLac Universal White on it. I am an epoxy-free tumbler. I use CrystaLac products. They are non-toxic. They are non-yellowing. They're a great product. And if you are having any kind of epoxy allergies, they're an awesome alternative to that, and you can produce some very beautiful cups and have no toxics. So let me get started. The first thing I want to do is this is Mod Podge. This is what I use, Mod Podge. And in the Mod Podge, what I like to do is, this is the E6000 everyone's always talking about. It was a game changer for me when I finally started using this on my glitter cups. So what I do is I just take and splash a little bit, just a little bit inside of that, and then take you a popsicle stick and just, you know, stir it around. Don't get too crazy and create a bunch of bubbles, but just kind of make sure you get it mixed in there really good. I find that it gives it a little bit more of an adhesive to my cup. It also thins down my Mod Podge just a little bit, so it's not so thick and clumpy, and it spreads really, really well. Sorry, I had to turn that fan off. Okay. All right, we got it stirred in there. I'm going to just move this over to the side. And we're going to be glittering with Skywalker today. Skywalker is a beautiful, I'd say a blue jean blue. It's just gorgeous. And you can get that on frazzleflamingo.com website, along with a bunch of our other wonderful glitters, acrylic blanks, tools. We have quite a bit on there. Okay, I have, once I prepped the cup, I did go and use Universal White, and then I went back over it with some tinted, and I put a little bit of acrylic paint to tint, so we'd have a little bit of a tinted blue to go with our glitter. And what we do is we're gonna paint this on and get it covered really well, but we don't wanna, we don't want it to dry, but we want to get it covered. So we're going to paint it on there really good, and then we'll go back over it a little bit and straighten it up. But we want to make sure we got all of our edges, all of the creases and corners covered. And then you're just gonna go long strokes, real light. Don't press real hard. We're just trying to get some of these, this thickness, some of these creases out, so that the glitter will lay better. Trying to make sure we have everything covered. And there we have. All right, there we go. I'm gonna stick this on here for a second while I put this up. We're going to get our parchment paper, our folded parchment paper, and we're going to put it on. That way we can catch all those extra little glitter bits. And we got a cup so that we can gather them up. All right, now let's get this back on the hand, and we're going to start glittering. We're just going to start tapping that on. Make sure you get the butt. Don't forget the butt. Get it covered really well as well. And just keep, you're just going to cover this whole cup. You're just going to keep going around, and you're going to cover this cup. And it is a beautiful, beautiful glitter. It's going to look great. Then you're gonna tap it off. Just on the top, you're gonna move it, tap it. You're gonna see little spots. Maybe you might have missed a couple spots. Check it out. Just make sure you get it covered really well. You can put another coat if you want. I try and stick to one coat as much as I can. That way it doesn't seem to take as much product. And there you have it. Now what we're going to do with this is we're going to let this dry for a good, I would say, I like mine to dry for a couple hours, and then I'll come back and I will seal it with the E6000. You can spray it on or you can brush it on, but we're going to seal it with that. We're going to see where we are, and we're going to, after that dries, we'll smush it. And so I'll be back to show you, once this has dried for a couple hours, I'll be back to show you how I seal it. Hello everybody, we are back, and this has sat for about 2.5 hours. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to really quickly, I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to take my gloved palmed hand, and I'm just going to smush a little bit. I'm going to try and flatten out just a little bit. I'm going to go along it very lightly, and just, I'm going to press flat. I'm not going to scrub around. I'm just going to, you can do it with the palm of your hand, or you can get you a piece of plastic of some kind and just flatten. You're smushing down the glitter a little bit, and just go very slowly. We don't want to knock off the glitter. We just want to make sure it's smushed down onto the cup. And make sure, and let's turn it, and we're just going to go around it just real quick. And you want to make sure when you do this that it is fully dry, that it is not still sticky wet, because you could slip and make a remove some of this, and you don't want to remove it. You just want to make sure that you're flattening it down. And with you flattening it down, you will use less product. You will have less space that the product will go and fill up. It takes up less space. All right, let me move. And we are using Skywalker, like I said. Love Skywalker. Very pretty glitter. It's very pretty, isn't it? Gorgeous. All right, so now what I do is, you can spray this on, you can take it, and let me wipe that off just a little. You can take it, let me move these out of the way, and you can spray along just like this, but I always have a hard time because it just spurts. So let me put this on the rack real quick. And then, so what I like to do is I like to take this, and I like to put a little bit in here. You don't need a lot. That's probably too much. Let's, there. You just need a little. You just need a little bit. And we're going to pour that in there. And we're going to move this out of the way. Okay, and then we're going to take our brush. And what we're going to do is, I just take some on the brush and I pat it in. I don't know if you can see that. So just pat it, and it will go on a little milky, but it will dry clear. I don't want to brush too much. If you brush, just go very lightly. I don't want to brush off my glitter. I just want to I want to seal it. I want to make sure it's going to stay there. It ain't going to go nowhere. So I just kind of pat it on and make sure I go all around these edges. All right, and then we're gonna take some and we're just gonna start patting it around, and then we can lightly brush. Lightly pat and then lightly brush. You see how it's going on? We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this all the way around the cup, and then we're gonna allow this to dry. I like mine to dry overnight, just to make sure that it is nice and dry, that there's no moisture left. It's anything that's needed to gas off can gas off. And I will do this all the way around, just like this. You see how it's milky, and you're gonna go, oh my gosh, I just ruined that beautiful glitter. But it dries very clear. It will dry very clear, and then you won't have to worry about it, and your glitter will stay where it is. It will stay put. And just like I said, you lightly. So I'm going to continue to do this all the way around, and then when it dries, and tomorrow I'll be back. Good morning, everybody. Hi y'all. Okay, we're back, and where we left off yesterday is we glittered this beautiful cup with our Skywalker. This is Skywalker, and I just want to show you how beautiful this is. It is like a denim, I don't know, it's like a denim color blue. It's just beautiful. Here it is. Look how gorgeous that is. Just beautiful. And where we were yesterday is we had sealed it with our E6000, and we were letting it dry. I'm having a time putting this glove on. Oh. So we put Skywalker on it. We sealed it with E6000, and it's on there. It's not coming off. It's on there to stay. It's not coming off at all. It's just great. And I did end up putting a second coat on this, and then I went outside and I spritzed it around. So I only had one coat where I did I brushed it on really good. The second coat, I went outside and I sprayed it real good, and then I let it dry overnight. I try and let it dry overnight. So the next thing I want to do, I had electrical tape on this, and electrical tape is great because it does keep out any paint. It does keep out anything. And I took it off, and now what I'm going to do is I go right ahead and I put my gloves on. I go ahead and I put on my painter's tape, and what I do is I back it off just a little so that my product, I'm just going to show you, I back it off just a hair so that my product will come up over my glitter and form a seal. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way around this real quick with the painter's tape. Painter's tape will come off a lot easier, and I may change it again. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. All right, we're going to just go around this very carefully. We're going to run our finger along that real good to make sure it's sealed as good as we can, and nothing gets under there as much as, and then we tuck this under, and that'll protect the inside and the edges. A lot of people, they work all the way to the edge. I don't know, it's just a thing that me and Stacy decided when we started doing cups. We decided to, we wanted to leave a lip, no matter what. If you put your lips on it, you drink. We just felt better that there was a lip. It was clean, clear, and so that's how we do our cups. Other people go all the way up. We do not. So it's just your own personal preference. And so And some people, you know, they leave, they tape off the bottom. We finish the bottom. Because the great thing with CrystaLac, when it's cured, I've dropped them and they haven't cracked or chipped. Now it didn't, but it did not crack or chip. So, and another good thing with CrystaLac is the gloves. I can wash them, use them over and over. I can wash my tools. I can wash my, I mean, these have been used over and over, these little medicine cups. They just wash out. So that is just one of many blessings of CrystaLac. All right, so now what we're going to do is I start my flood coat. Once I do a glitter, I have it all sealed, I have it smushed down. I start my flood coat, and I start with, I always start with extreme protection. So I do that for, excuse me, I do that for the first 3 to 4 coats. I do a thicker coat and I let it dry a lot longer. Instead of letting it dry 3 to 4 hours, I let mine dry 6 to 6.5. And but I use less product when I do it that way, so that's why I do it that way. All right, we put it on our turner. We're gonna turn our turner on, and I use a condiment bottle. And this is where the only time I use the brush is if I have a smooth surface from paint, alcohol inks, or once I get this to the point of it being smooth, then I'll start using my brush, you know. But until then, I will use a gloved, and I say it again, gloved finger. If I get it on my skin, it hasn't irritated or anything, but I figure why keep putting it on my skin when there's no need to. Okay, so what I do is the condiment bottles come in really handy because you can put a line and brush it down, a line and brush it down. Now when you first start with this, I know I'm rubbing more than once. Whoops. When you get to the point of it being totally smooth, you do not want to do this because you will create bubbles. I am trying to flood every section because it soaks it right in. Almost instantly. It'll soak it in. And so I'm trying to make sure I get plenty on there. I keep pulling it back to me, and you want to make sure you get the edges. And you're going to want to make sure you get the butt, so I kind of start to take some down that away. And I flood this. I flood it really good. And I want to make sure every little inch is covered. So I keep pulling it back to me. I'm going to make sure every inch, every edge is covered on this cup. And when I say flood coat, it's probably not like a flood coat like you would with epoxy. It just means I'm putting it on a lot thicker than what I would normally. And because I want to make sure that all my edges, that everything it's soaking in. And I don't know if you can see. Now I'm just going through and I'm just making sure, and I'm smoothing it out. It's not necessarily super thick. It just means I've covered every inch. It is soaked up a little bit, and it still has a little bit remaining on the top. That tells me it's going to be it'll be a lot easier to cover. You'll use less product. It took me a while to figure this out. So take the frustration out, and there you go. Now you just leave it. You leave it to turn. It self-levels. I'm going to leave this to turn for probably about 45 minutes. And I'm going to do this a few more times, and I'm going to keep doing with my Extreme Protection until I get a nice top layer where it starts getting smooth, where my glitter I know is all covered and it's getting smoother, and I reach the point where I might need to lightly sand any lumps or bumps out. So when I'm done and I have filled with my Extreme Protection and I'm ready to start my BT, I'll be back. Hello y'all, we are back and I want to show you. We have reached the point now where we need to sand it, and we're going to start with the Brite tone. And you can see it's a little, you can still see it's a little rough. That's why we're gonna sand it, and then we'll start with the Brite tones. I have I changed the tape and put some new on, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna sand it, and we're gonna sand it. I do a wet sand. Gonna put my mask on. Even though I wet sand, I still want to protect my lungs. So, okay. Now we are using Skywalker, and what I want to show is with the Brite tones, there are so many things you can make with the glitter and Brite tones. You can do pop sockets. You can, the foam grips. You can do, that was with Brite tones and Vidalia. You can do acrylic blanks and make your keychains. You can do all this with your glitter, your inks, and do it with Brite tone. And we have the acrylic blanks and the pop sockets and the glitter all on our website, so you can go and get them. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna sand, and this is where we start to use our brush. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna spray it just lightly, and I'm gonna take 400 grit sandpaper, and I'm gonna lightly, it sounds like I'm scrubbing, but I'm not, there's no pressure. And so I'm just gonna lightly go over this, and we're just trying to knock some of them bumps down, and it's just a slow process. It's a slow process. You're not going to knock all the bumps. And I do not want to scuff my glitter, so I'm not putting in. I am not putting any pressure on this. I'm lightly. It's with the lightest of touch, and we're just going up and down, trying to knock back some of those bumps, so we can work on getting it to be a smooth, glossy finish. Go along our edges, and that's all we're doing. It's not even, it's just a little bit. Okay, we've gone around it very lightly. I'm going to make sure I have just wiped it around those edges. Okay, alright, so I need to get the butt of it, and I'm just going to lightly go over it. We do not want to scuff our glitter, so we just lightly go over those edges. That's it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to spray it down, and we're going to wipe it off. Wipe it off with your rag real good. See, you don't even really notice that we sanded anything. It's just knocking that down just a little bit. Knocking down, and you're gonna put a couple coats on. You can let this dry for a second. Make sure it's dry. And we're gonna begin with our Brite tone now. And that's going to build up, and we're probably going to do a couple coats of Brite tone, 2 or 3, and then we're going to lightly sand again, and then we're going to do another coats and lightly sand again. And so while we're letting that dry, And this is the brush. You can get these on Amazon, and I will put a link to that. All right, let me move this forward. Let me move this closer to us. Move this stuff out of the way. And I like putting them in these condiment bottles. I find that it makes my life a lot easier. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to try and move this up a little for you. There you go. Now we're going to take our Brite tone and our brush. Well, see if it's dry. Yeah, it's dry. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to turn on our turner, and we're going to just do a strip, and with a light touch. We're going to do light. We're not putting any pressure on the brush. We're going to drizzle some on there, and we're going to do very light touch. Drizzle, light touch. Let it come around, and we're going to put a little drizzle. Very light touch. We're not going to go over and over it again. We're just trying to make sure we get it coated. One good go round. I think I got a good go round there. Yes, I do. And I'm gonna, don't forget to put some on the butt. The butt is hard to do, so I put a little bit on my brush and just make sure I get it good. Try not to create any bubbles. And that's it. And you're going to let this turn for a good 35-40 minutes till it's, you know, pretty dry to the touch. That doesn't mean it's dry, but it's dry to the touch. And then we'll put it on the drying rack, and it'll stay on the drying rack for 3 to 4 hours before you put another coat on. And when I'm going to slowly build this up. And when I get to that point where it is smooth enough for me to put my vinyl on, I'll be back. Hello, everybody. Let me adjust this just a little bit. There we go. Hello, hello. We are back, and we reached the point of smoothness. It's not, you know, it isn't 100% smooth yet. I don't know if you can see, but it is pretty close, and we're here at this stage where I can put on my vinyl. I already started it. This is what's on this side, and it was a lot of vinyl. And then on the other side we have some other things that we're going to put. I've marked my centers, and this helps me so I can get it as even as I can get. So what we're going to do real quick is I'm going to weed. I have a little bit more to weed, so I'm going to set this over here, and I have a little bit more that I need to weed off this. And so what I'm going to do is these are great. They are precision tweezers, and they are very, very sharp. They are so awesome. We have these on our website at thefrazzleflamingo.com. And these are the rainbow ones. These are the really sharp ones. It is really hard, I must say, to weed out white, because for one, you can't see it very well. Let's get the bottom one done, and then maybe we can turn this just slightly. We want to make sure that E stays down. All right. Nope, that is not gonna cut it. There we go, we got that. These are very tedious. Dadgummit. Yeah, and of course, it did not. Huh. I may have to redo that. Yeah, we may have to recut this one. I'll see in a minute. Okay. Whew, those skinny little ones are hard to do. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go in between, try and get all these little bits out. I should have already done it. And I'm telling you, these are very hard to see. I'm not a fan of doing a lot of white due to the fact that they're very hard to see. Shoot. Let me get it in the light, make sure we got everything. All right. All right, let's press it down. I think we got it. Now the trick is going to be, let's make sure we get it on there cleanly. Okay. Oh gosh. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Veronica part, the name, and we're going to put it on the transfer. Gosh darn it. For some reason it won't come off. Thank you. All right. I'm going to try and get it as even as I can. There we go. These scrapers are wonderful. They're double-sided. They have the harder side on this, and then they have a felt, so that once it's on here, if you need to kind of press it down a little bit, it will not scrape up your vinyl. It won't leave marks. It's real soft. So, all right, we're gonna pull this off, and nope, go back. It didn't pick up something. There we go. Okay, I'm going to leave that there for a minute. I just want to make sure it would come up. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to start layering this. The first thing I need to do is I need to put this V down on here and get it centered. I could go ahead and layer it all before I put it on, but I would rather get this one going first. And you go up the center first, then you go out of on the edges and push it down as much as you can. I think I got a pucker there. We'll see if it puckered. No, it's laying down. All right. Okay, that looks good. We're gonna press it down. Just make sure it's down. Make sure there's no air bubbles, no puckers. There you go. We got that on. Got that one on. And this here is just a pool noodle. Like I said, it's two pool noodle. It's a pool noodle I've cut in rubber band. And then I just take a towel and I roll it up on one end. So it has softness, but I need it lifted towards me so that I can see what I'm putting on. It makes my life a lot easier. Okay, now we're going to figure out the Veronica. And we need to make sure we place it right. Make sure we got it all on here, and we're going to pull it up very carefully. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, it pulled up my... I don't want those pulled up yet. I'll have to fix that. So, alright. So now, she wants this across here. So, what I'm going to do... I'm not happy with this V right yet. It just is not right. So I'm going to see if I can't... Sorry, I don't know what happened. It just kind of blinked out on me. So I don't know what... Hopefully you got to see. But this is... got this on here. We've got this. This is a lot of vinyl on this cup. So it's been a work. And it's been more than I've really ever done. So... we're going to get it on there though. We're going to finish this up, but put your vinyl on. Then once you put your vinyl on, then we're going to start again with our BT, and we're going to put the BT on it. Oh, exciting news, exciting news. Look at what we have. We have crystals now on our website. They're new on our website. They're a new product for us. So you can go on to frazzleflamingo.com and you could get your crystals, and we also have the tools. So you can go right on there and get any of these tools and start putting crystals on cups. Okay, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to finish this cup up, and then I'm going to put it on to my turner, and I'm going to start putting BT on it. And so when I'm done, it'll probably take another 4 to 5 coats of BT to get it good smooth over this vinyl, and then it should be finished. And when it's finished, I'll be back.